Higgs boson,
चंद्रशेखर लिमिट,
string theory,
न्यूट्रिनोस,
quantum entanglement.
कुछ समझा क्या?
Ever felt bored and confused while reading lengthy physics textbooks or articles?
Yeah, on God, bro.
I'm Arnav,
And I'm Pratham.
and welcome to Quark Talk, where we decode all the complexities and simplify these intricate concepts in physics.
They may have seemed too complex to understand until now.
Today we're talking about mass. As in, where does your mass, we're not talking about weight by the way, where does your mass actually come from?
Spoiler alert, it's not from all those snacks that you've been binge eating. It's way weirder than that. Okay, Arnav, take a guess. How much do you think all the electrons in your body weigh?
So I don't know exactly, obviously, but because they're like they have a small mass, so I would say they have a small percentage of my mass, so around 5% of my mass, so 3.25 kilograms.
That's oddly very precise, but no. It's something like 20 grams.
20 grams, that's it.
Yeah.
That's barely anything. That's like close to the weight of a 20, that's lesser than the weight of a 20 rupee dairy milk.
Yeah, electrons are basically weightless. The mass of one electron is, if I recall properly, 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31 kilograms.
That's ridiculously small. So where does the rest of my mass, like the non 21 gram part of it, come from?
That's a good question. So, the what gives electrons its mass is different from what the rest of your mass is made up of. So, if we focus on electrons now, these electrons don't get it the same way that the normal objects do. Their mass comes from something called the Higgs mechanism, and we've spoken about this earlier.
Yes, the Higgs field and the Higgs boson. So what is
Yeah.
the Higgs boson? Yeah. So the Higgs field is a thing that gives particles their mass by slowing them down as they move through space, basically.
Exactly. Picture a bunch of people walking through an empty room. Easy, right? Now imagine walking through that same room, but it is so crowded. Like imagine you're at a Coldplay concert and you're trying to walk up to Chris Martin on the stage. It's gonna be so hard. The resistance that you feel, that's kind of like what the Higgs field does to particles like the electron.
Yeah, exactly. So without the Higgs field, electrons would just zoom around at the speed of light.
Yeah, without it, electrons would be massless. Atoms wouldn't form, and just as a minor inconvenience,
Yeah, side effect.
yeah, side effect, the universe as we know wouldn't exist.
All right, yeah. So electrons are lightweights, but protons and neutrons, they're the real heavy hitters, right?
Right. Most of your mass comes from protons and neutrons, and those things are made up of something that is like very, very paramount to the name that we have got, quarks.
The name of our podcast.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but quarks don't get their mass from the Higgs field, right?
Not exactly. Quarks do interact with the Higgs field, but that only accounts for like 1% of their total mass.
Wait. Only 1%. So where's the other 99%, bro?
From pure energy.
Okay, man, explain.
Okay, so you remember Einstein's famous equation, right? E is equal to mc squared. Yeah. It means that energy and mass are two sides of the same coin. So in a proton, most of the mass comes from the kinetic energy of quarks zipping around at near light speeds and the energy of the strong nuclear force binding them together.
So I don't actually weigh what I think I do.
Nope. You're not made of stuff. You're made of energy interactions.
This is the best excuse ever. Like, if anyone wants to say, I'm not fat, I just have a lot of energy.
Try explaining that to your doctor. Anyway, let's break it down even more.
So, protons and neutrons are made of quarks. But what actually holds quarks together?
The strong nuclear force, which is carried by gluons.
So, like, glue on. Like, gluons are like glue.
Kind of. But instead of acting like regular glue, gluons form something called flux tubes.
Okay. Explain what is a flux tube.
Okay. Try to imagine stretching a rubber band. Normally, the farther you stretch it, the weaker it gets, right?
Yup.
But flux tubes do the opposite. The more you pull quarks apart, the stronger the force gets. It's like the universe really doesn't want you to separate them.
Wait, so what happens when you keep pulling? Like, you just keep putting more and more and more and more energy.
So eventually, that tube snaps.
Just like a rubber band.
Yeah, but instead of releasing the quarks, it creates two brand new quarks.
So you can't ever isolate a single quark, right?
No, no one has ever seen a lone quark in nature.
Like a lone wolf kind of
Yeah.
thing.
They always come in groups of 3, like in protons and neutrons, or in quark-anti-quark pairs, like in mesons. This is called quark confinement.
So quarks are like that one friend who refuses to go anywhere alone. He always needs like companions.
Exactly. So we've got quarks, gluons, and flux tubes. But you said protons aren't just 3 quarks, right?
Right. So we usually say photons are made up of 2 quarks, like 3 quarks, but 2 up quarks and 1 down quark. But that's just a valence structure, like as we spoken about earlier, right?
Yeah.
But in reality, they're basically a chaotic soup of quantum fluctuations.
What? Define this chaotic soup, please.
Okay, fine. So inside a proton, quark-anti-quark pairs are constantly popping in and out of existence thanks to these quantum fluctuations. So at any given moment, a proton doesn't have to just be these 3 quarks, one up and 2, like 2 up quarks and 1 down quark. It can be like any amount of quarks, like 5, 7, 9, any odd number of quarks at that moment.
So quarks are just glitching reality at all times.
Yeah, because that's pretty much what the thing is. Because the thing is that they can have those pairs at any amount of pairs at any single moment. So that's the thing. But it gets even weirder because sometimes a proton contains quarks called strange quarks. We have spoken about them earlier. But yeah,
Strange. I still find it difficult to wrap my hand around these things. Strange as in actually strange.
yeah, they're literally called strange quarks. They shouldn't be there, but quantum mechanics doesn't care about should or what people think, right? Or what our beliefs are, right? Okay. So thanks to these fluctuations, protons sometimes have temporary strange charm or even bottom or technically any pair of quark and anti-quark floating around inside of them.
So the proton is a seething, chaotic mess of particles appearing and disappearing, but somehow it still holds together.
Yep, and all that energy and motion is what gives it mass.
All right. So if we have to sum it up, electrons are basically weightless. All of them together just weigh like a very very small fraction of your body weight, say like 20 grams in case of Arnav.
Yeah. And then protons and neutrons are just way heavier, 1,000 times heavier than electrons, but their mass doesn't come from the quarks themselves.
Yeah, 99% of your mass comes from pure energy, specifically the energy of the quarks moving and the strong nuclear force because of Einstein's mass energy relation, like E is equal to mc squared. So mass and energy are interchangeable.
And quarks are never alone because of flux tubes that get stronger as you try to separate them.
Yeah, and protons aren't just 3 quarks, what we thought about that. As Arnav said, it's the valence structure. They're actually a quantum mess of particles popping in and out of existence.
So this is a lot to take in and it's kind of insane, but the next time someone may call Edward Witten's tummy a bit bigger than it should be, he might just say, it's quantum chromodynamics, bro.
Oh, I wouldn't take that if I was Edward Witten, by the way.
Yeah, I've not said that. Someone might say that. It's not me.
Are you 100% sure you have not said that?
Yeah. We both
That's
love Edward Witten.
Yeah. Edward, just watch out, okay? So anyway, that's it for today's episode. If you like this, you're not made of matter. You're made of energy.
Wait, do you mean yes, you don't matter, you energy?
No, are
You don't matter, you energy.
Sure.
Okay, I got the dad joke this time.
Yeah.